Alright, so this next item is it's a depth gauge attachment for a caliper. So this would be handy except for one problem. The only caliper I have that this will fit onto is this this vernier. It does fit on here. This vernier's got this unusual poorly placed rivet, but the idea is you would put this on here like this and turn your scale on your vernier into a like a depth gauge. I wonder if that's supposed to go on a... I might be wrong on that. Maybe this goes on a scale. Well, it won't fit on the Meditorio and it won't fit on the Starrett. They're both too wide. There's no markings on it, so I have no idea who makes it. Probably just an import, cheapie. Well, it is marked, it's engraved with the previous owner's name, that's about it. I'm not overly attached to it. Same goes with this transfer block. This is a magnetic transfer block. This is a cheapie. It's a little roughed up. It'll still work. I really don't need it, so. Screw jacks, I may or may not keep these. I don't know. They're beat up, you know, the paint and everything, but they're actually pretty decent little jack stands. Not that long ago, I just went through all of my indicator holders that are of this type, which the original manufacturer or inventor, I guess, was Indicol, I-N-D-I-C-O-L, and I guess I don't know if their patent ran out or what happened there, but after a while, everybody started knocking them off. So I've got an original Indicol, and I'm keeping that one. And then I had a couple of these clone ones like these, and I sold off just about all of them. I've got one left. Well, now I've got three because I just acquired two more. I got one that somebody bored out to 2 inches. 1 7/8 is the most common size because that'll fit a spindle on a Bridgeport. It also fits the spindle on my Wells Index. 2 inch would be for a larger mill or possibly even a drill press. So I've got that up for sale right now for $8 because, you know, it's been modified. So this is a clone, no name. So I'm going to sell that one. And then this one is actually also a knockoff, but this one is actually SPI. Not that that's saying much. SPI, I've never been impressed with SPI anyways. SPI, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, stands for Swiss Precision Instruments, and there's nothing Swiss about them. Most of their stuff, I think almost everything that they make, is Asian import. So this is a cheap knockoff, but it's in really good shape, and it might actually command a little bit more price because it's SPI, believe it or not. So those will be available. Coming to the end, except for, of course, the one item that was the icing on the cake for me. Okay, this isn't it. All right, another drop indicator. I need another drop indicator, like I need a hole in the head, but it is a Brown and Sharp. It is working pretty nicely, I must say. It's a thousandths. Most of these drop indicators are 1,000. It's got a secondary dial. It's actually in really nice shape, really nice condition. I haven't decided yet. May or may not sell that one. Yeah. Those of you who are in tune with what I'm up to will probably get a chuckle over the fact that I have acquired yet another Starrett Last Word This one is ill. Okay. It is not returning to 0 the way it should. It's acting weird. It's got issues. So, anyways, it's unfortunate. Actually, you know what? That might be just a loose screw there on the end. Just realized that that's completely... Well, I don't know. It's funny. I just listed a couple of these for sale. I had sold sets, and then I had just a couple of loose ones, and I put them up for sale. One of them was in really rough shape. Was missing the crystal, and the face was all dirty, and the other one was a little sluggish, but it was working. And listed the two of them for 20 bucks, and I actually got a message from somebody who needed just this piece right here, and offered me 10 bucks for just this piece. So I said, well, what the heck. So I took this piece off and sent it to them, mailed it to them, first class mail, because that's the cheapest way to get it to them. And if I had known that, like, literally like 2 days after I mailed that one, that I was going to come into another dirt cheap last word, I could have offered him this one, which is much cleaner. Although, once I cleaned up the one that I sent to him, there's nothing wrong with it, so I'm sure he's going to be all set with that. It's just funny how that works out. Huh. I wonder why it's not... Well, I'm not going to bother with it. That's not my place. Indicator repair is not my forte. Although I am going to try and do something with that indicator. I don't want to spoil the carnage. Okay, 2 more indicators to go, and then we get to the thing I love. All right, here's a Mitutoyo. This is a 513-118 Mitutoyo thousandths indicator. It's got this long snoot, so to speak, on it, which makes it interesting. It's not a very expensive indicator. This particular one is working perfectly, though. What's going to hurt the value in this one is the lack of a case. This has got the lever you can flip to change directions. So you'll see I'm pushing up on the ball. This is typical of how the last words operate. And then I flip this lever, and now I will push down on the ball. Okay. Very clean, nice indicator, but the lack of a case is going to hurt it. What I mean is value-wise. Last but not least, a Brown & Sharp best test. This particular one is a 7032-5. It's a tenths indicator. It's 0.0001. And this is also, in perfect working condition, the contact point, for lack of a better term on this thing, is it's almost a needle point. I've never seen one that has a needle point like that. Dovetails are pretty good. No engraving, which is always nice. It's actually a pretty nice indicator. Unfortunately, no case. Now, I do have a couple extra cases, but I think I already found Orphan, Brown & Sharp's best tests to go in those cases, so that's going to be a nice indicator I'll probably end up selling. I'm going to make somebody happy with that one, I think. I almost forgot this was in there. Remember I mentioned early on another thread gauge. And this is an SPI. This is an SPI 4 to 34 TPI 60 degree thread gauge. It's got a part number on it. of 14034-3. What I liked about this one is it's clean as a whistle. There is a little chunk missing from this tension wheel on here, but that's not going to hurt it. And this is actually a pretty good size set. Unlike the Starretts that I have, where you got to have like a couple different ones to cover all your bases, this has got a lot of different thread pitches right there. So that's going to be a nice little thread gauge for somebody. If I didn't already have Starretts, I would probably keep it for myself just because it's so darn clean. Now, except for the one item I'm going to show you to close out this video, that was everything I bought. But then he brought everything to me in this cardboard box. Remember, I told you he met me, and I didn't realize until now. Hey, we've got a couple little goodies in the bottom here. So I don't know what that is. And oddly enough, here's another one, but a different type of metal and bend. I don't know what those are. I don't care. But here's what I kind of do like. I don't know what indicator this goes. Maybe this is for the Mitutoyo. But I'm looking at what looks like, to me, like 3 brand new contact points and the wrench to change them. I bet you that fits that Mitutoyo. Alright, well, I'm not going to worry about it now. Alright, everybody. So here's the big ticket item from this haul. This is the item that I'm going to keep for myself, at least for the time being. And this is something that I don't probably expect to use a lot, but it's going to be a nice addition to the tool hoard. And this is a Pratt & Whitney branded West Hartford, Connecticut, USA gauge block set. It's kind of a unique one. So here on the inside cover, it's a Hoke, H-O-K-E, precision gauge blocks, Pratt & Whitney. The interesting thing is that over here it actually says it's the Pratt & Whitney Division Niles Bemini Pond Company, West Hartford, Connecticut, USA. Okay. So when I first saw this listed in his ad, I believe he was asking $150 for it. I went online and I actually looked up this particular set, and I was able to find a couple of examples of ones that had sold previously on eBay. And based on the amount that's missing from this set versus the amount that was missing on some of the sets that I saw that had sold, I'd say that this is actually a pretty good value at $150. I don't think I'm going to get hurt. I think I could probably sell it tomorrow on eBay for somewhere around there. Of course, eBay would take its big 10% chunk out of that. But one of the things that we agreed upon was that since I was buying all of this stuff, that he would let me have this for $100. So I actually got this set for $100, so I'm pretty happy about that. Again, it looks like it's missing one large one here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it appears to be missing 6 blocks total.
Well, if this isn't even in the right place. The individual blocks are actually all marked P&W for Pratt & Whitney. So this is a 1-inch block, so this is actually in the wrong place. I'm guessing that the big ones go down here, maybe? Yeah, it makes more sense. Actually, this is a 1-inch also. Okay. That's different. I don't know what to make of that, because that one's actually a little bit different. I wonder if that's a 1-inch block that doesn't even belong to this set. This is supposed to be a 950 over here. It's not. That's why that's in there. That's why that's in there sideways. Huh. Okay. So looks like this might be missing more than I thought originally. But anyways, So this is a really kind of unique set because of these little attachments that it has. So got these attachments like this here. Okay. And these. And what's great about these is you can use blocks between these two. And you can use this to get a very precise measurement on the inside of a hole. At least I believe that's what he had explained to me. Here's a little, I don't know why this is even in here. There's a little standard, little orphan standard that was in here. Made in Japan, a 167-141. Well, that sure looks like a Mitutoyo. Oh, that's a 1-inch Mitutoyo standard. So we'll put that somewhere else. It comes with these rods. This rod's got a flat on it. So I don't quite get the deal on these because the reason why I say that is because they don't fit in this hole. They're too loose for this hole on this base. Okay, the base is marked 500 thousandths. All right, so there's a beveled edge to that hole. So I'm wondering if one of these screws is supposed to sit in here, and then maybe one of these rods threads onto the screw. Well, it does, but you see how that doesn't seem kosher. Huh. Yeah, that's it. So I noticed, like the other sets that I saw that had previously sold, they were missing most of these rods and were missing a lot of these little attachments up here. They were missing some of these hole attachments here. See, that's for a smaller hole, that's for a larger hole. These, what are these little things? They come to a point. Oh, those are interesting. You could shoot this across the shop and kill one of your coworkers. There's these right here. Oh, okay, hold on. That looks a little more. There you go. That's the diameter for that. So this is going to go in here like this. Well, and that doesn't really make sense, does it? I guess this might be maybe for a short stack. Put that on there like that. And then, there you go. Take a short screw like this. Screw that down into there, and that's going to, maybe that's what's going on there. So, when I asked him before I got there over the phone, when we were talking about the gauge block set, the first thing I asked him was whether or not they still ring, because I mean that's the big thing about gauge blocks, right? We're supposed to be able to ring them. For those of you who don't know what ringing is, that's the process of being able to actually twist these two very, very super smooth surfaces together to get them to actually stick to each other, almost as if they're magnetic. And there is definitely a slight bit of stiction going on here that I can feel. Yeah, they definitely give it a little bit of a rub like that, and I can almost, well, I bet you I could, there you go. All right. So the idea being is if the surfaces are compromised, speaking of which, probably should wipe these down. I know these are supposed to be treated in a very specific way. I think you're supposed to wipe them down and make sure no oils from your skin are left on them before you put them away and that whole thing. So anyways, if any of you more experienced among us know anything about this type of particular set, and want to share your wisdom, that would be appreciated. Do so in the comments section. This video is about wrapped up for today. So this is the thing I was mainly after in this this most recent lot. So I have a couple other gauge block sets, but they're not. I don't have any one like really particular, really large full set. The one I would really like to get. All right, this is a 650. This goes here. Anyways, the one I would really like to get would be what they call a Joe block set. Joe's short for Johansson. Johansson was the last name. Forget his first name. The initials are CEJ. I've got a microcator with his company's name on it. But he is the dude when it came to gauge blocks. That's a fascinating history. If you get a chance, Google the history of gauge blocks, and you'll find the interesting relationship between Henry Ford and this Johansson guy, who is, I believe, Swedish or Swiss. I don't remember exactly. But it's a really interesting story about standardization, quality of standards, and how Henry Ford ended up getting involved with this guy's company, and why to this day you can still find sets that are commanding pretty good value used that are branded Ford, but made by his company, Johansson's company. So, anyways, very nice case too. Strikes me almost as the type of case you would see for a high-end sterling silverware, or you know, the finest cutlery. All right. Oh, I'll show you one other quick thing before I wrap up. Just literally just a few days ago, I did an odds and ends video that by now you guys have seen. And I mentioned in that odds and ends video that I wanted to do something with one of these Brown & Sharp doghouse-based magnetic stands that I had. It was missing pieces, and I had decided at that point that I was going to kind of make a Franken stand out of it using a Noga component. So I searched around and found on, I think it was Amazon. No, this is eBay. Got this off of eBay. The Bay. And this seller, Andrew Short of Portage, Michigan. Is it Michigan? Am I? I don't know. Anyways, he was able to supply me with this Noga component. And for anybody who didn't see that video, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Brown & Sharp doghouse indicator base with this nice clamp on it and turn it into some sort of a usable indicator stand with the help of this on the end. This is nice because it's got multiple possibilities here. We've got 3 different size stem holes that are available to us. You can either use this one or just flip it around like that to use this one, or you can remove this screw and relocate the screw to another hole position here to vacate this middle hole, which is the smallest of the 3. In addition to that, we've got the dovetail right here, so you can use it on a dovetail. It's got the fine adjustment. And so I think that you know, will rig up some. Alright, so I just took a few minutes and I went through every single one of these blocks and rotated them all around so that the numbers are facing out, and made sure that they were all in their correct slots. And I am now able to determine with with no amount of uncertainty that I am missing these two sizes right here. Missing the 103, the 106 thou, the 200 thou, the 400 thou, the 700 thou, the 900, and the 950. This block, this is an extra 1 inch. This, I believe, is the correct 1 inch for the set because it's got this area that's recessed where they actually printed on the size, so it matches these other ones, whereas this one doesn't. This looks like it's a newer replacement block, I'm guessing. Also, this block right here, the 600 thou block, is the same type of replacement. It's got the same type of lettering on it as this 1 inch one. So these two right here are newer blocks that were added to the set for some reason. I can understand the 600 because it was missing, but I don't know why there's a second 100. But the good news is, apparently these sets were so common or popular, I have to assume, because there's actually somebody on eBay selling individual used replacements. What they're probably doing, because they're asking about $9 a pop for these blocks, even these small ones, and might not even be able to find the larger ones, they're probably buying partial sets and then breaking them up because they're getting more money in the long run. I don't know. I don't think my luck's that good. The only one that they have that's looks like it's a good match is they get the 103. But then I noticed one of the other larger ones that they did have, it's more like this replacement block. It doesn't look like one of the originals. And I think I found 3 total of what I'm missing available here from this seller on eBay. And one of them, the picture is quite good, and from the picture it looks like it's got quite a bit of staining on the faces. You know, it's not nice and clean like that. So I think that set, I'm always wary. You know, it's one thing if you get a tool that was rusty and you clean it and you've got staining left behind on a non-critical surface. I mean, we've all had that, probably. But when you're talking about the faces of precision surface blocks like this, yeah, that's a horse of a different color. I think maybe I'll just hold off on buying any of those for now. The other thing that bugs me is that the seller's charging about $4 a piece to mail them. So, which you know, that's probably just first class mail. Probably does cost that much or close to it. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now.